Hey, I think we're all set here. Good morning. I'm Ginny with LearnWithGinny.com. I have two screens going on here, so if I'm glancing back and forth, that's why. We have Facebook Live, and I always have a backup camera just in case something goes wrong, because that happens, and I want to have the video to put in my post. So, if you're live on Facebook, make sure you introduce yourself, tell me where you're from, and let me know you can hear me. So, good morning. I already said that. So, I couldn't sleep last night. My brain was just going and going and going with all these ideas for more blog posts and more topics to talk to you about. And, my son did the same thing. He's like, "Mom, I can't sleep." And in our home businesses, in our lives, sleep is important. Sleep is when we heal. Sleep is when our brains can stop the churning and let things sink in to your subconscious. It's when, things can happen. And we need our sleep so that our brains work better, our bodies work better, and our relationships work better with our families and co-workers and anybody else. Oh, I'm having a problem connecting over here. Good thing I have a backup. So I'm going to keep going over here and then post the video later. When your brain and ideas are swirling in your head and your kids feel the same way, oh, we're back over here. Okay, so I was just talking about the brains, when your brains, when the thoughts are turning in your head and you can't stop them, and your kids feel the same way because they have a lot going on with their school and sports or whatever else they're doing. So here are some tips that I found for us, for me, for you, and for my son who was having the same issue. Cool down. There is some science that points out that if you cool off, it's a good way to relax. My husband likes to turn on the fan. My kids like to sleep in their underwear. So whatever it is, just cool yourself down. And that might be why I couldn't sleep. I was wearing my warm, cozy jammies because it's still wintry here where I live, and it's still cold. So I do like to be all cozy in my warm jammies. So maybe I need to cool off a little bit. Tip number 2 is turn off the electronics at least 30 minutes before bedtime. And I know that I am guilty of this because I am preparing for this post in the morning at night, because I also heard a tip that, if you come up with your ideas for your blog posts and your Facebook Lives or whatever it is that you're doing the night before, it gives your brain a chance to sink in and think about it. And it practically writes itself the next day. That's what I heard. I don't know. I do it because then I don't have to do it in the morning. I have the idea and I can just start writing. So, as part of our bedtime routine when our kids were little, we would read together and discuss the day and say our bedtime prayers. And then I tuck them in. And sometimes this whole routine would take almost an hour. It depends on what book we were reading and how much we were enjoying it. I loved that time of day. Anyways, and if you want some ideas on how to get your kids to sleep, this is having a routine at night to help you. Little triggers like that, like reading a book and discussing your day and calming yourself down, calming your kids down. The whole routine triggers, the sleep mechanisms or whatever, because you get used to those routines and then your brain knows what you're doing. Anyway, so what I wanted to say is, to get them to stay in bed, what I would do is after I tucked them in, I would, good morning over there. Make sure you say hi. Anyway, what I would do is I would tell them, I would say, hey, it's time for sleep now. I know I love talking to you, and because they'll talk and talk and talk and talk just to delay bedtime. So I would say it's time for sleep. And, oh, well, thanks for coming. I'm great. That's great. I hope you're getting value. Sorry. Anyway, what I would do is I would say, okay, I will check on you in about 10 or 15 minutes. So they would know that I would keep looking in on them, and eventually they'd fall asleep. So that was tip number 2, turn off the electronics, plus some routines for bedtime for your kids. The tip number 3 is to exercise. Exercise early in the day, and the reason is exercise will help you sleep better at night too. It's just another health benefit to exercise. Another idea is to have a warm glass of milk or a cup of tea before bed, preferably non-caffeinated. So tip number 3 is stop thinking about sleep and stop worrying about it. I know that my son does worry about it. He is, he'll get up and he'll say, I'm not getting enough sleep. I'm going to be horrible tomorrow at school. I'm going to be so tired. And he's worrying about it. So stop worrying about it. It's no big deal. Sleep isn't a number. Make sure that you stop thinking about it and relax. Dim the lights 2 hours before bed. It kind of lets your body know that it's bedtime. I know it's hard, especially where I live in the summertime when it's light late. So don't drink alcohol before bed. And I'll tell you, I'm guilty of that sometimes. Like, I like to have a beer or a glass of wine sometimes when I'm relaxing. But yeah, I feel like it makes me sleep, but it doesn't give you a quality of sleep. So visualize yourself asleep when you can't sleep. Pretend to sleep, because eventually you will sleep. I tell the kids that, and they're like, what? It seems like forever for them, 5 minutes, but then they're asleep. So you just close your eyes and relax every single part of your body, one at a time. Learn some meditation, because if you learn that, you'll learn how to breathe and relax yourself. And finally, my last tip is for your kids again. Ask them what's up. Sometimes it might be something they're worrying about. So just ask them what's up. What are you thinking about? What's on your mind? Maybe write it down, start a journal, because maybe for you, if you're having all these ideas about what you want to write about in your blog, or if for your business, your home business, or courses that, I might be thinking about that I want to put out for you, write them down, because, then you'll stop thinking about them. It's like, okay, I have it written down, put it away. So I hope that helps. Get a great night's sleep tonight, and I'll see you in the morning. Oh, I forgot to tell you my call to action, right? Go to the blog post and read it. I'll put the post in, the link in for you to go read the actual tips, and then go to the products page for your free training for your home businesses. Make it a great day.